AP2 by GEEKVAPE. AP2 obviously abbreviates to Aegis Pod 2. They've released so many Aegis products now, they don't even need to say Aegis on them anymore. Just A is enough for us to know what they're talking about. However, this does have an IP67 rating, has a 900 mAh battery, a 4.5mm pod capacity, and very, very well constructed. Let's check it out. This is the pod that comes in the kit. It has a 4.5mm capacity. You can see it's not too darkly tinted. That means you can see your e-liquid level fairly easily. The mouthpiece itself is kind of duck build shape, which is actually, for me, I find it quite comfortable. It's just kind of just sits in your mouth. It's not like you have to make a stupid face to vape or anything like that, which actually I'm quite a fan of. Now, when it comes to filling, there's a small silicone fill port on the side there, which it's okay to fill up. It's a little bit fiddly. You have to hold it at a funny angle if you want to completely fill this pod anyway. This takes the G Pod series coils that are push fit, and in the kit you get the 0.6 ohm mesh and a 0.8 ohm mesh. There's also a 1.2 ohm coil available for it as well. This is a separate purchase. One clever thing about this pod, you see there two little kind of bungs, little holes, indentations you might call them. And here you've got two pins. Now, depending on which way you fit this pod will kind of limit or loosen the airflow, which is basically adjustable airflow, and it does a pretty good job. This is kind of directed at mouth to lung, and then a restrictive direct lung vape. More on those bits a little bit later. Now, putting that pod in there just kind of clips in lovely, and the device itself has a 900 milliamp hour battery. It's USB type C port at the base with a 1 amp charge. I couldn't actually find that information from GEEKVAPE or anyone else, but it's just from my own testing at home. 1 amp has been the maximum charge rate I've got out of this device. At the front here, you've got this kind of stainless steel finish, which is really, really nice. Around the side, you've got this kind of rubbery feel from a nice bit of grip, and at the back there, you've got a nice little kind of camo design going on, which has a slight softness to it as well. Almost a little bit leathery or pleathery as it might be. Obviously, there's those different colours available. Now, at the front, you've got a fire button. There's also an automatic draw system. I've pretty much just used the automatic draw system throughout my time with this. I've only really used the fire button to adjust the settings and to kind of switch it off. So at the minute, you see it's green there. If I do a 1, 2, 3... it will go white, which is the lowest power setting. We'll press it again, 1, 2, 3. It should go blue, and there you go. And 1, 2, 3, green, and that is the maximum output. Now, basically, depending on what coil you use, the smart, clever chipset in this will determine what the wattage output will be. So it's very, very good. When it comes to kind of fit, feel, and finish, it feels solid for a small pod system that kind of looks like a bird's eye view of a car or some kind of key fob for a car. It's solid, real nice feeling, high quality bit of kit. It just feels, it does feel like the IP rating is justified because of the way it fits and feels. Everything looks pretty solid. It's got a nice weight to it. One thing going back to the pods is the gaps either side. Basically, you can see there my e-liquid level. I don't know how well you're going to see that. My e-liquid level isn't even, so if I want to try and even that up, I'll kind of want to hold like that, and I want to see e-liquid filter down, and it can be a bit slow. It's almost like a little bit of an airlock going on. It's not a major issue, but oh no, see, now I've got it all the way wrong. For me, it just bugs me that I can't get my e-liquid kind of perfectly level either side. I don't think it makes any difference with the coil. I haven't found wicking a problem with the coil or anything like that, but just for me personally, having an uneven e-liquid level just kind of bugs me. I've got the 0.8 ohm coil installed. I've got the airflow set at the more mouth to lung style. I've got it on the white setting, which is the lowest, which is 13 watts. Let's give it a little bash. The restriction's about spot on for me. It's not super tight, but it's not loose that it's uncomfortable. It's a nice tight mouth to lung draw. Very smooth, nice and quiet. Flavour's decent, and a nice little cloud. I'm quickly going to up that to the maximum. I'm not going to try all three. I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 to the blue, and then 1, 2, 3 to the green setting. Again, I'm not using the fire button. Just give that a little bash. That's how I've liked it. A decent mouth to lung draw, slight bit of warmth there. Really good flavour, nice little cloud. It's quite strong on the throat hit depending on what e-liquid you're using, but I really like this coil at the highest setting, which is, I've written it down, 15 watts, beg your pardon. There's so many numbers to remember, I forget. 15 watts, 0.8 ohm coil, performs really, really well. Let's flip that round to the restrictive direct lung, plonk it in like that. I'm going to leave it in the highest setting, restrictive direct lung. Nice little cloud. The flavour kind of drops a little bit for me. and it's a bit too tight for what I would call restrictive direct lung. You can get away with it. This device for me personally is more aimed at mouth to lung, but perhaps the 0.6 ohm coil does a better job with restrictive direct lung. Let's give it a little try. With the 0.6 ohm coil installed on the white setting, it comes out at 14 watts. I've got it in the mouth to lung mode on the airflow. Let's give it a little bash. Still a decent mouth to lung. Slightly looser than the 0.8 in mouth to lung mode, but still comfortable, smooth, slightly warm, tasty vape. I'm not even going to bother faffing around too much. I'm just going to do this in full power mode, in mouth to lung mode. Let's give that a little bash. Flavour jumps again. Really, really nice. Yeah, it's a more powerful version of the white setting. You might want to try the blue setting if you want somewhere in the middle. There is a noticeable difference in the wattage output and how it actually vapes. There is an increase in power, in vapour, in throat hit, the higher up that wattage you go, which is quite impressive really, considering we're talking about 10 to 18 watts around that range. It's quite a big jump. Let's flip this one around, the 0.6 ohm. Leave it at its full maximum green setting, which is 18 watts. Let's give that a little bash. Nice little cloud checker with that restrictive direct lung vape. Slightly looser than the RDL vape you get from the 0.8 ohm coil. Still a little bit tight for me personally for restrictive direct lung. But you can just about get away with it if that's your thing. For me personally, yeah, this device is aimed for mouth to lung really. Even in the restrictive direct lung mode, it's still a little bit on the tight side. But when it comes to flavour across the board, generally speaking, it kind of gets an 8 out of 10 for all the coils in all versions. It's a decent vape, especially in the tighter, more mouth to lung style draw. So my nitpicks and good bits with the AP2 by GEEKVAPE. Nitpicks first, of course, there's really not many or hardly any. The only real nitpick is something that's just personal to me. I have OCD about, see right now all my e-liquid is on one side, and if I tip it, it will slowly filter down and after, what is that? No, I've got it, I've gone too far. It's almost like a free game you get with the pod. The pods aren't too dark. The device feels solid. It feels really, really well made. For a simple pod system, it just feels solid. It's comfortable. It's super slimline, so it's going to fit in your pocket. The battery life is very, very good. 900 miles, respectable. The capacity of this on 4.5mm is great. The G Pod series cores from GEEKVAPE are very, very good. Decent performers. There's really not many. The only nitpick is that pod thing, which is actually, I've just realised, a bit of a game. So in fact, there's no nitpicks. This is a very, very good pod system. Although it looks a little bit like a bird's eye view of a car, in my opinion, that doesn't put me off. Really high quality, really good vape quality as well. Can't really fault it. So I hope this helpful, folks. If it was, hit the like button or subscribe if you fancy it. Of course, you see my latest review up top there. A random one just down there. And a massive thanks to GEEKVAPE for sending this over for review. I'm Flagger Vapor. Thanks for watching.